I'm Amanda and I art journaled every day for the month of January, and I just want to share this journal with you. If you follow me on Instagram or TikTok, I posted a bunch of videos over the month of January where I showed you how to make these pages. But with this video, I kind of want to talk more about why I made these pages, go into more depth with them, and just really talk about this series and why I love doing it. And yeah, so let's just dive right into it. This is an A6 size journal. I get them off of Amazon. I love using these journals because they're relatively cheap, and I find that I just am able to go through them really quickly, and that makes me feel good, because if it takes too long for me to go through a journal, I get frustrated. So I like it when they're nice and short and I'm able to finish them off really quickly. So here you can see my cover. It's a little beat up because it's the first page that I do. I usually start off with the cover and it's just gone through it, but that just means she's well loved and I've used it a lot. So my first page here, I like to just do the same page every time. I've been doing this series now maybe the past 4 years, and I always do the same thing. I just do like a hello introduction page. And yeah, the next page, I've just been trying to incorporate my style into it, and my style now is very much abstract, colorful bits. And that's kind of just the whole, you'll see here, there's just a huge explosion of color. And I feel like in the past year or so, I've really just dived into that. I'm really trying to explore that and learn more about it. So you will see that in this journal. The first 2-3 pages, I'm always very nervous about doing them because every year I always gain a few thousand followers because of this series. And I always feel an immense amount of pressure of having to make really cool pages for the first few ones. Because I'm like, everyone's watching, everyone wants to see what I'm making, I gotta make something cool. But in reality, I know that's something that's like, with me, I need to just get over that. But I always feel like I gotta make some cool stuff, but I end up making cool stuff. But I've always felt nervous about it for the first couple of days because I feel like I've got all these new followers, I need to like impress them. But it's all good. Here's this page. I want to talk about it because this page determined like the rest of my journal, because I used calligraphy ink and I spilt it over. And the thing about these journals, because they are cheap, they do not hold paint, like water paint, very well. So you can see here, it went everywhere in the journal. And so for the rest of this journal, I had to cover it up basically. Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't, but this is a page that I should have done at the end because I would have only messed up like 2 or 3 pages, but instead I messed up like all of them. But that's on me. It's an Amanda problem. So here, the next page you can see is where I had to do these paper things because I had to cover it up because most of the big damage was on the first next few pages. So I had to do some bigger stuff to cover it up. That's where this page came from, putting paper down, covering things up. This one here, I didn't even bother to do it, but whatever. I also really wanted to do a lot of more simpler pages because journaling every day it's not easy, it's hard, okay? Like you can get burnt out really easily. So I made sure to like pace myself and make some pages that I didn't need to do too much. Otherwise I just would have gotten tired really fast. So I did a page like this, very simple, but also really just, it fits my style a lot. Here, beautiful scrape paintings. We love doing these. I love doing these all the time. Yes. Some of my little guys, I love them. Here we got a nice little just scribble page. I love incorporating textures. I want to really explore that a lot more in my art. I love having big explosions of colors and just really diving into textures and seeing how that can really impact a piece. Because here, like, you see all this, and you can also see like the acrylic paint I have here, the acrylic ink I have here, oil pastels, pencil crayons, regular crayons. This is a calligraphy ink. It's just, I love seeing how different types of mediums can like impact the texture of a piece. Here, this is the only page that I genuinely just gave up on. I just couldn't handle it. I was just fed up. I started off with some finger painting and then I didn't, and the direction was not coming to me. Sometimes when I do a piece, like the direction will flow with me and I'll know what to do next. This one, she was being stubborn and I was like, no, okay, we're gonna just finish this. And that's like, I think in the video I talk about how it's okay to just like not finish a piece. Sometimes you just gotta give up on it. This one here, I made a sticker out of it because I loved it so much. Probably my favorite page that I made in this journal. It's just me. That's so me, and everything about it is just very much me. This one here got a lot of love because I was kind of just talking about scrapbooking and how I love scrapbooking, but I find it very hard to do because I just don't have the patience for it. So this one's kind of just like a condensed scrapbook where you can cut out little pieces of your memories and put them on this grid, and so that way you have the elements of a scrapbook, just not in like a big way, just in a tiny way. So I don't know, people liked it, I liked it. That's truly all that matters. A nice little paint smush. This one I was scared that I was gonna like destroy my book by doing this one, but thankfully my years and years of messing it up has taught me how to do it properly. And you just gotta have a lot of skill with knowing when to stop, because when you press it, the paint will go out and then it will also go on your other pages. So you have to know when to align it properly. Just comes with years of skills and experience, okay? But yeah, I really like how this one turned out. The colors were nice. I didn't get much cracks in it either, so it turned out very well. This one here, very Valentine's Day vibes page. Cute. The whole point of this was I didn't want every single page to be like huge. I just wanted to show that you can make something every day, and that's the whole point. It's about developing habits and just making sure you show up and make something. This here, these ones are all my Himi gouache set. I love you, but I use it way too much. I depend on my gouache set for everything. I'm always painting with it, and I'd like to dive into some different types of painting, but for now, I love my acrylic and gouache set. Those are the best. This page I hated. I don't want to talk about it anymore. This one here, I actually really loved. So this one's just talking about how I need to push myself, and I can't always just be safe, because if you're safe all the time, how are you going to change? How are you going to grow? So you have to push yourself in order to grow. Use some acrylic paints and just filled it in. This one here, I used spray paint, and then I just did some like paint splattering, and I told myself it was enough. I was like, I don't need to do any more. This is good. And then I was like, no, it needs a little bit more. So I added these two things because I love primary colors. One thing about me, I'm always going to be a primary color girly till the day I die. Love it, love it, love it. And so I literally made a video talking about this and being like, when should you stop? How to know when to stop a piece. And for me, I love this yellow bit, but this red one, I think if I could have undo it, I would undo the red. But everything else, love. This one here was built off of a snow day in Vancouver. We got a bunch of snow. So I started off with these circles, and I wanted to make snow art. It was fun. I didn't really do too much. All I did was put snow on it and then put paint on it. And I just expected like a big like thing to happen. All it really did was it looked like watercolors, so it's fine. And then I just kept going with the green because it was looking cool. So I kept going with green, and that's how I got this page. This page here is the one that went a little bit viral on Insta. And it got mixed reviews, which is like, that's the whole point, okay? That's what we want. But basically, I just took the back of my paintbrush and I did a bunch of dots everywhere, because I did this page because I was tired. I did not want to do anything that day, and I was like, I need to do something. I'm just gonna put a bunch of dots on a page. And I think it's cute. Like, it's very much my style. It's very much me. But yeah, I got mixed reviews on this one. I don't care. I think it's fine. I don't think there's anything terrible about it. It's also, it feels really nice. Like that feeling. I am a fan. This page here was built off of, I did some monoprinting, and it made these like textures with it. I like to make my own paper. I kind of want to look more into just how do I make my own paper, how to make my own kind of stencils and things like that, and like how to make different designs on it, because I think that's really cool. And then I basically just assembled this collage out of it. A lot of these pages come from one type of technique or style and then building off of it, because I just wanted to teach like different ways to mix things up so that you can like have inspiration with the journals. This one here was all about covering things up, because basically on purpose I messed it up and I made sure that the edges of it would rip so that I had to cover it up. And yeah, it ended up pretty cool. I just used some like collage paper and just made some stuff on it. And yeah, it was a very nice explosion of color as usual. This one here was started off of lines. Just did a bunch of lines with my ruler, and I was like feeling the black and white vibe, so I went with that, did a little paint scrape, and then I wanted to like promo my stickers a little bit, so I used one of my stickers, and that's where this one came from. This one here, I had a rough day. I woke up that morning and I was fighting. I did not know what to do. So I started out painting with this, and I was like, I hate this. I do not want this anymore. So I was like, we are covering you up. And I put this here. This was a piece of paint by numbers, like the instructions part of it. And I actually debated painting it in for this page. And I realized, I was like, no, that is not self-care, because when I did the giant painting of this, it took me over a year to finish it. And I was like, there's no way that I'm going to do this for this page. So I left it blank because I love myself and I didn't want to put myself through all that again. And then this here is made off of a playing card. And yeah, that was the whole thing of that. I am so thankful to myself that I did not fill this in individually. I think I would have cried and it just would not have ended well. And this was the first time, I think only in this journal, where I used stamps. I remembered like halfway through that I had stamps and I should use them. Yeah. They're cool. I just didn't use it for the rest of the journal. I wish I used it more because they're actually really cool for like making words and stuff, so oh well. This one here, more gouache paint. I love my gouache paint. I love how colors blend. I think I'm like obsessed with how the colors can seep into each other. I'm so into that, like, love. This one here was kind of more touching on like scrapbook stuff, because I hoard all of my paper and I'm like, I need to like use it. So I make pages like this where I'm able to like collage it all together, and it holds the memories, which is that's the whole point of it. This one here, I wanted to just create layers, and I also wanted to be like, I wanted to make people like itch about it, because the whole point of it was like making more. So this was the opposite of stopping. I wanted to just keep on going and see where it would go. And yeah, they ended up looking really cool. I think I started with charcoal, so that's why it's kind of dark, because the charcoal has like mixed with everything else, but I'm fine with that. This page here, this is where we start getting into kind of the lower point where like I'm starting to get a little burnt out, like I don't know what to do. This is probably around week 2, week 3, where I'm like, ooh, I'm kind of running out of ideas. The one thing is, last year I planned a lot more. This year I did not plan, because this year, here's your inside scoop. This year I honestly wasn't even gonna do this series, but then I had like one person ask me about it and I was like, okay, sure, fine, I'll do it. But the whole thing about this year was I wanted to go in with it without a plan. I wanted to just take every day like as its own and try with it. I did not plan as much as I did last year. Did a lot less of that, and because of that I found like I was running out of ideas. I didn't really know what to do. So this one came from me being just low on ideas. My brain was running on empty at this point. But you know, I still got some cool stuff out of it. I don't think it really like backfired that much having a little plan. I think I still I trusted my own intuition, my own skills, and it really like paid off. This one here was just more of like, because I was running out of ideas, I wanted to really just trust myself and see what I would make, and this is the type of stuff that comes out of me not knowing what to do. And I mean, that's pretty awesome. I'm pretty happy with being able to make stuff like this when I'm running on low. And yeah, so this is like a mix of oil pastels, acrylic paint, wash paint, watercolors, acrylic ink, just all mixed together because I love using different mediums and seeing where it takes me. And I love it when they like interact with each other. And I think this one I kind of just talked about like perseverance. Like I feel like at this point of the month, you're kind of just like, should I keep going? Should I still keep doing this? You know, my followers aren't interacting as much as they did at the beginning. I feel like I'm doing this on my own. But it's like, it just proves like the perseverance of it though. Like if you're pushing through, you're still gonna make cool stuff. Like if I stopped, I wouldn't have made these pages. So there is a payoff to it. This one here came more of just a collage. I painted the paper, and then after they dried, I would cut them out and then just assemble them together. I see a lot of these on Pinterest and stuff, and I really think they're super cool. This one here is the second to last page, so I was basically almost done. And I just wanted to finish things off strong, and I didn't want to put pressure on myself that I had to make some fancy page. I wanted things to just be simple. So that was what I did with this one. Just some more paint, oil pastels. Then I wrote down potential because I just wanted to remind myself that like, look what I've done. I've filled up this book. I have so much potential for the things that I can make in the future. And this one here, my last page, I always do the same thing. I write a letter to myself and I just talk about like, hey, look what you've done. You've done a really great job. I'm super proud of you. Look what you can do. And filled it in with some paint as usual. So yeah, that's how I finish off my journal at the time. And yeah, that is it. That is the end of this one. It's super nice. I feel like I always feel super accomplished when I do this series because it's a lot of work to art journal every single day because yeah, it's not an easy thing to do and it takes a lot of time and skills to be able to do it. So I'm proud of myself for doing it. I learned a lot and I'm always super thankful that I do this series every year. So thanks for watching this video. I hope you were inspired by it in some type of way. I always feel super thankful for doing this series, even though sometimes like it can be really hard and I can get like cranky about it and stuff, but I always feel like it's worth it in the end to do stuff like this. So yeah, if you made any pages, please share them with me. I'd love to see them. I love seeing other people create the work that I make, so please share them with me. Thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.